When people think about marketing, they often think about websites, social media posts, promotions, newsletters. But the truth is, the real marketing, the really powerful ones that actually don't look like marketing at all. It's somebody saying to somebody, hey, you've got to go and see her. This week, we are building the engine behind that whisper. Referrals, a system, a midterm marketing strategy that can truly become the backbone of your practice. So, let me take you back a little. Those really grueling, struggling time of my practice. 3 years on in my practice, I was still living off Centrelink. I was very broke, seeing about 5 patients on average a week in 2 different clinics where I was working at. I was very depressed, going into my 40s. Really, it was a really, really bad picture. I was drinking a lot because I was feeling really bad. Well, excuses, doesn't matter. I was drinking a lot during this period, and one day I saw an ad for free class for 2 weeks at a brand new yoga studio in Redfern, Humming Puppy. It was their special opening special. I took this as a sign and I thought, okay, I am going to quit drinking for 1 month and go take advantage of this special offer and go to the first class, the 7 o'clock class, every day for 2 weeks and see what happens. As you can imagine, 2 weeks later, I freaking felt great. I felt really good in my body again. I felt alive and started to have hope for the future. At the end of this, I had just immense gratitude in my heart for the studio for running such a beautiful promotion. And of course, I did become a member to the studio many years to come. And at that time, to express my gratitude, I decided to write a handwritten card, thank you card, to each teacher. I slipped in a complimentary treatment voucher in there with a thank you note and put it in an envelope. I wrote everyone's name separately and put this in an envelope and gave it to a studio manager. And I said, please give this to everyone. There's one for everyone. Nothing happened for ages. At the beginning, I was feeling quite silly about this and I felt even rejected. And I was like, oh, I feel too embarrassed. I don't even want to go and see those people. They don't want to even come and get a free treatment from me. And then I realized that they were feeling just a little bit too shy to come and get a free treatment. You see, you have to remember, people feel awkward about getting free things. So I reframed it for one of them. I said, well, if you take my gift and you'd like to give something back to me and you love what I do, then you can give something back to me by speaking about me to people who may need my services. Something like this. This shifted everything for this person. So she came in. Soon after, somebody else came in. Another teacher, the teacher's mother, their partners, their kids, the students from the yoga studio started to come in. And before I knew it, I truly became the acupuncturist of this most beautiful, fancy yoga studio there was in Sydney at that time, right in the suburb where I was practicing in the shared house. One gesture became the foundational pillar of my practice indeed. That until very recently, until I stopped practicing, I've been seeing consistent patient load, new patients coming from Humming Puppy in one way or another, on average like 3 patients a month. The thing is that gift card that I gave to those yoga teachers, it was given to them 7 years ago. That's how long Humming Puppy has been, because soon after that, my patient load became so heavy and I became better at giving treatment plans. Remember week 3? I actually became really busy, so I actually was able to open a practice in my own suburb. That's another story. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I've spent a lot of money on Google Ads, marketing agencies, trying to outsource my marketing work, not necessarily for myself, but for my practitioners in my clinic who's struggling, for whom I actually made this course. And whilst they were struggling and I'm busy, I thought, oh, I can outsource this. I'll just pay for Google Ads. The thing is, that doesn't bring the return. It really doesn't work. People come to see the practitioner. You have to be able to own this responsibility of attracting your own patients, and you've got to get yourself out there and build relationships like this. And I'm going to show you how I done this, because I've done this not only with yoga studio, that's one source, with PTs, I've done this with GPs, I've done this with specialist doctors, hairdressers, especially with my patients. There's many different ways that we can actually have beautiful, abundant referrals, and I'm going to show you all of them. Nothing held back in the week's content. First, let's think about referrals as a marketing strategy. I call this midterm marketing strategy because it's something that you can see the fruit in few weeks' time, but it's something that you can actually have wheels of motion that can give you patient in 2 weeks, in 1 day, in 2 months' time, over and over and over again. And if you systemize this, then it becomes so natural part of your patient care, so you don't have to spend time extra doing this. You can leverage your life, all the people who's interested in taking care of themselves and being healthy, and who isn't, my friend? And if you can position yourself in front of them, then, and to make this into a system, into your own patient care routine, then this is a system that keeps on giving to you without having to do new work. Short-term marketing strategies, the outreach, running promotion, those things, you see, that brings people in tomorrow. And you are at that sprint time right now. So well done for turning up. But you see, it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort to make that phone call and to send that text message and to run that promotion. Long-term marketing strategies such as SEO, Google Ads, Instagram, the social media, YouTube, all of that actually takes long time to build, takes long time for the fruits to come back in. Referrals, on the other hand, is a really sweet spot because you can actually leverage your own people who already trust you, and they become your marketers. Your network becomes your funnel, so you don't have to reinvent the wheel all the time. Referrals from your patients. Well, this is the gold mine, and my friend, just like any other referral tactics that I'm sharing here, these aren't tactics. Whatever has worked for me, and I have actually tried to make this kind of logic to work by approaching people with the intention of getting new patients, that just never really worked out from my experience. So what I want to really emphasize for you here is that you need to build relationships. You need to go out and be a part of community. And then once you do that, you go there and going, I don't have to sell myself. I've just got to be here and I'm just going to be part of this community. When you go in with such attitude, then you will harvest on this for a long, 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 long time, because you keep on wanting to add value to them, and it becomes mutual thing that if you take little more than what they are giving, then maybe it's you have a short-term gain, but it doesn't really, I don't know, it hasn't worked for me, so don't do it. Patient referral, again, you want to do this, and I will tell you all the step by step in the later on content. But first of all, what I want to say to you about patient referral is that you don't have to have the miracle result for you to ask your patients for referrals. Once you have a relationship, so on the third treatment that you've had with a patient, on the fifth treatment, on the 10th treatment, whenever it is, you can decide on the number of treatments that you've given and sort of anchor that point as a time that you actually have this conversation with your patients. And often when I actually open this conversation with my patients about referrals, like if you have friends and family who is suffering with the same kind of issue you have, for example, if I'm working with a patient with fertility issue, you know how likely it is that she's talking to her friends about fertility issues who's also going through something similar? You see, it's a beautiful opportunity for you to position yourself to remind your patient to send some referrals to you. Look, referrals are not just asking for favors to your patients. They are a form of generosity. You know why? Because you're not just asking somebody to do something for you, you're asking somebody to help somebody they love by putting you forward for them. If you've built a relationship and trust with your patient, which you have done, if you are seeing them on a course of treatment, that relationship alone grants you to ask for referral. You don't have to have the miracle answers, the pregnancy, the anxiety is completely gone in order for you to ask them. If your patient feels seen, held, and supported, and they trust the process, that is just right time for you to position yourself. Now, what I want to say to you is that to remember to ask for referral is not just for yourself, but it's for your patient to realize that you actually would like referrals and that you can care for people who's in their lives who's suffering with health problem or whatever it is that they are suffering from. This is a form of generosity. So here is where to begin. Patience. Wow, your lowest hanging fruit. What I recommend you do is that you ask your patients to give you referral on the third, fifth, at the beginning of your relationship with them. Don't need to wait until the miracle has happened. So I'm going to give you exact template script that I use, so you can actually put that in. Maybe you're already good at this, but this is what I do to reduce the awkwardness that comes to me whenever I think about, oh shit, I should remember to ask for the referral. You know, I can get a little bit emotional. I don't know. I am sure you feel like that too. So by putting it onto regular care day as a part of the routine, and coming from the trust that you're actually helping them help their friends in a more effective way, because everybody loves helping other people. Everybody wants to resolve some problems for their loved ones, and you are a problem solver. So put yourself forward for that, okay? So I say things like, hey, I've got few vouchers that I give only to the patients that I love working with. If you found my care helpful for your health journey, for your fertility journey, then I would very much appreciate it if you could share this with anybody who's going through something like you are. And give it to them in a beautiful thing, envelope or whatever. Don't give them a stack, give them a few. Treat it with care and the value and the gift it is to them. Don't give it to them like coupons. Okay, let's build you referral ecosystem that's going to be the backbone of your practice. That could be the backbone of your practice. You see, the reality is you don't need hundreds of these people. You don't need the GP, the specialist doctor. You don't need the yoga teachers, PTs, all of them. No. If you go to yoga studios, then do it at yoga studio. If you already have a GP, then go and speak to your GP. You don't have a GP, go find one that aligns with you. You just need a few people who are aligned with you, who will never shut up about you. You see, this is the key. So there are 4 different types of referrals. First, your patients, of course. These are the people who already trust you. They're already buying from you. Their life and relationships in their lives are changing because of your relationship with them. So you don't need to wait until the miracle that they are asking for with you in the relationship, getting rid of the depression, to finish that journey in order to ask the referrals from these people. What I recommend you do is to put it into your patient care, as I mentioned earlier, on the 5th, on the wherever, whatever you feel good. You put it there before you do the preview. If your patient review 1 treatment cycle is 8 treatments, do it on the 7th. Don't wait until you're having that review session where they're going to decide if they're going to keep seeing you or not. Do it a little bit earlier. As soon as the relationship establishes the trust, which is often on the initial consultation, then you can actually ask for referrals. If you're seeing a patient who's going through a fertility journey, let's say, how likely do you think she has friends who's going through what she's going through? If you actually ask this patient, hey, if you are enjoying the journey you're having with me, then I would like to offer you few vouchers to share with some of the friends and family who's in your life, the people that you know who's going through the same ordeal, same challenges as you are doing. Do this after the session is finished. Don't do this in the middle of it. Do this like this before you come to the conclusion of the treatment, so that they can actually be reminded that this is something that they could do to help those people who's around. And giving them a voucher, special voucher, really helps them to actually have an excuse to say, hey, my acupuncturist gave me this. Just makes it a little bit easier for them to do that referral. This really works. This has really seen my practice to grow. And you tell them when they take it, I always thank them in advance for thinking about this, even if nothing actually comes of it. I say, thank you for taking this, and thank you for talking about me and thinking about me in advance, because referrals from my patients is what's grown my practice. Say that, own this, and thank them in advance for even carrying that bit of information in their mind. What an honor is that. Thank them, show them the gratitude first. Second kind of referrers are the allied health practitioners, the doctors, the yoga teachers, the massage therapists, physios, chiros. If you're working with them, great. If you don't work with them, you don't have anybody like this, I give you all the step-by-step in the workbook as well. You want to find them. Find your people, my friend. I've had experiences where I worked with two GPs who specialize in workers' compensation in Australia. So workers' compensation is an national insurance scheme where all the people who's got a job have to pay for this, and a lot of people, unfortunately, in construction industry get injured, heavily injured, and they get this insurance scheme. And I used to be the acupuncturist who was working with two GPs who are only seeing workers' compensation patients and managing their pain as one of their referrers. They loved working with me because they have a lot of patients that under their care who's doing so many surgeries, and some of them of course get better, that's great, but many of them don't get better, and even if they get a little bit better with one kind of pain, they have all the associating pains with the pain management medications and the schemes that they're going through. So they need to sleep better, digest better, all of these complications that come from having this really severe injury. Acupuncture is great for that. So I used to work with these doctors to get patients for workers' compensation cases. Really great relationship I had with these people. Go and harness relationships like this, and if you don't have any of these people, doctors around, I also give you step by step in the workbook. You need to research, get yourself out there, meet them. The essence of that is that when you're meeting doctors, don't try to convince that your medicine works. If they don't think that your medicine works, then you should not be speaking to this doctor. There are many well-educated doctors who are well-informed of the power of acupuncture. Neurosurgeons, I had few neurosurgeons who used to send patients to me because of what they're going to do after all the surgical interventions that they've done, and the patient isn't better. Well, acupuncture can be a great alternative for these doctors. You will be an asset for them if they have your number by their desk. So when you're meeting the doctors, don't forget this. Don't try to prove yourself, your medicine's worth. You want to ask them, what are they struggling with? What kind of cases do they struggle with that they can't actually resolve themselves with their intervention, with their medicine? And when you frame the question like this, then they will inevitably tell you the cases that you love working with. Chronic, complex, complicated cases that's not budging with medication, or the medication is actually becoming addiction for their patients. Puncture can work magic for these people. So frame it like that. Don't try to prove your medicine to nobody. There are people who believe in the medicine, but they don't know who to refer to. And you can be that acupuncturist. Third are the community referrers. What I mean by community referrers are like the cafe owners, the restaurant owners, the massage guy that you go to. But massage guy should be actually one of the allied professionals. So the people that you are meeting, the guy who's at the grocery shop, and he is the grocery shop owner who knows everybody. But the referrer that actually worked for me the best in the community have been two hairdressers. As you can see, probably in the lectures, that I am not a hairdresser kind of person. I am not maintaining my hair. I just wash it and let it grow, and sometimes I go take a haircut. Why? Because I saw how good my hairdresser was at referring patients. So I would go and pay over $100 haircut when I could get one in Chinatown for $30. I would do this every 6 months to my hairdresser because he would make my money back within 2 weeks of me going there. And the thing is, when I go, he starts referring. The next few weeks, the phone, I will have 3 new patients come from him. And then it sort of like dies down because he kind of forgets and he's talking about something else. The thing is, like when you go to the hairdresser, they are yapping on. They know everyone's secret. Everybody complain about their lives to the hairdressers, you see. When people say, oh, my back, my neck, my bloody, I gotta have a hip replacement surgery. Oh, you gotta go and see Yanan. And they are literally whispering into their clients' ears, and this is a great leverage. And I had another hairdresser who was also a great referral. So I give you the scripts in the workbook. And the bottom line is, for those guys, your patients, the doctors, whoever it is, when you are giving your vouchers, do not leave a stack on that counter. No, you give it to your hairdresser, 5 of them, like it's the most precious, that it's like a worth as good as cash, because it is your medicine, my friend. Give it to them as special gift to give to some of their beloved clients, okay? Make it super special for them so that when they're giving it to their clients, it's not just something that, no, it's my acupuncturist. You gotta go and see her, and she's given me 2 of this, and you can have 1. Don't tell Jenny because I didn't want to give it to Jenny. I don't know, Make it special. Don't make it bitchy. Lastly, the studios and the gyms, the places as a hub. As I was sharing with you earlier on in my story, the humming puppy story, you see, you can actually approach a studio. If you don't have, you're not going to the yoga studio because you can't afford it. Sorry. Because you're not making enough money. Well, I only went to that yoga studio at the beginning because it was free 2-week trial. So this is what I would do if I didn't have any established relationship, and you guys are watching this and you have a problem like this. Do some research. All the studios and gyms, the boxing classes, the kickboxing, whatever takes your fancy, actually have introductory offer, and go and do it. Do a little round of your town. Well, you're gonna get fitter, which is a great thing. And you go and say, hey, my name is Yanan Kim and I'm here to do boxing intro for 1 week. Go and do that. See how you're vibing with people, and maybe there is the manager or the reception person or your coach that you start to have a good relationship with and rapport. Then you can deepen this relationship by getting a membership for another month. You don't feel the vibe? Get out of there. Go somewhere else. Because if you don't vibe with the studio, the place, you're just not gonna keep going there and nurture this relationship. You don't just want a boyfriend. You don't just want a partner. You want a partner who makes you feel good. So don't just go there for the sake of it. Go and research and find your tribe. Okay, let's put it all together. What I want you to do is to think about one kind of referral that you want to grow for now, okay? And then you're going to stack it up as we go. The first 1 month, for the next 1 month, you're going to actually focus on just meeting that GP and making that relationship. Next month, you're going to approach some yoga things. You're going to join a membership thing. That doesn't really take you any time, right? you start layering it out like this each month, research, executing, start building relationship. At the end of this workbook, you also have a voucher that we've put the template of, so you can just put your details, print that out on a nice stock paper, and then ta-da, you've got vouchers. So you can start to give it to the people. So stack it up one by one. Don't overwhelm your system by trying to do all of this all at once. This is super important. But lay out, schedule out what you're going to do each week, which I go through a little bit more in detail in the workbook. So doing the thing is what matters, not knowing what to do. You've got to do the thing. Referrals have really been the backbone of my practice, and these relationships that I genuinely turned up, where I have genuinely given and exchanged value to, kept on giving me the values. It's been really amazing journey where I still have people who's getting referred by somebody else. These are really fulfilling aspect of a robust practice. I can really tell you down the track you will see that these are the moments that makes you feel like so validated that someone else is sending more patients to you. It's just so beautiful. Turn up genuinely, do the things genuinely, thank them gratefully, reward the referrals by sending them special thank you messages. Do not just take the referral and not do anything. Always thank them, be grateful, and do the things. As per usual, let me say that my friend, my healer, the medicine is already inside you. All you have to do is get out of its way so it can flow through you.